But to give us more perspective in terms of what, of course, is happening with this hijacking of this ship in the Arabian Sea, we are being joined in this very unprecedented situation. We're being joined by Rear Admiral Dr. Rakesh Chopra, who's a maritime operations expert. Thank you very much indeed, sir, for joining us on this broadcast. Let me, in fact, begin by asking you this. This ship, we're given to understand, was hijacked sometime yesterday evening, and since then there's been an SOS call, and India has, of course, rushed in one of its warships. How does the Indian Navy, in fact, approach a situation like this? Because this is, a hijacking that has taken place so far away from the Indian coastline.
First of all, good evening to you. It's not too far. The ship was on passage from Brazil. Must have come around the Cape of Good Hope and was going up to the Gulf.
Mm-hmm.
So it must be about I think about 400 miles or so from the Indian coast. Not more than that. Yeah, and moving up, and it's been hijacked. Now this is something which is quite unprecedented in the sense that this grain zone warfare, as it's called, had come down drastically, after about 2016, 2017.
Mm-hmm.
And now that the kinetic war in the Red Sea has started,
right,
the Houthis versus the shipping there, and I have got a feeling that these, in my opinion, are not connected in any way.
Right.
The Houthis is an ideological problem. This is a commercial problem in the sense that pirates hope to make money on this. While the Houthis is a totally ideological war with the war in Gaza, which they said must come to an end. So I think the Somalian pirates, are just taking advantage of the world's gaze on the Red Sea, on the southern part of the Red Sea, near the Straits of Bab el-Mandab, and are now hijacking ships, maybe at random, really, to make a little money, which they've not been able to do. So it is a challenge for the Indian Navy. The Indian Navy has to. It is all our turf. The North Arabian Sea is our turf, and there is no question we have to participate and take charge of the situation.
Right.
Told Chennai is going to be in contact with the Leela Norfolk very, very soon, as the PI is hovering overhead and tracking the ship.
Right.
We'll see how they take this on.
And also, how does the Indian Navy, of course, deal with a situation like this? I mean, do we negotiate with these hijackers? Because at this moment, it's being said that probably the hijackers are not in complete control of the ship that they've boarded.
What I was given to understand that they have got the crew under control. They've locked them up in some kind of a compartment on the ship.
Right.
So I'm not sure.
But this is the latest update, Admiral, that has come in, which says that hijackers have boarded the Liberian flagged vessel MV Leela Norfolk, but the crew is in a safe house, and the hijackers are not in complete control of the ship as of now. This is the latest information that, of course, is coming. Okay,
I'm sorry about that. And then, well, if the crew, you see, the crew can't do anything. I mean, they're not going to fight or do anything. The fact of the matter is that we can't go into a firing mode immediately. We will have to negotiate, and I think the naval personnel on board have now been trained to talk to such pirates and negotiate with them. There are certain techniques, certain things which are involved, and I'm sure they will, try and break down the pirates or come to a negotiating table, come to some kind of a agreement, etc., which will take place.
And also at this moment, we're given to understand that INS Chennai destroyer-class warship is, of course, headed towards this ship that's in fact been, taken over by these hijackers. What is a warship of this nature, do in a case where a cargo ship has been hijacked by pirates?
You see, this is of course one of our frontline ships, very new. It's only about, I think, 5 or 6 years old. Very heavily armed. It's got 2 helicopters. It's got a contingent of marine commandos. It's all very well prepared. to take on contingencies like this. In fact, maybe it's it can do something which is can bring the hijackers to the negotiating table. But of course, the fact remains that the first line has to be negotiations.
Right.
Take place, which are also taking place from the aircraft. It was reported that the aircraft are talking to the ship.
You're right.
And so I think that is the first line. Now the ship will come into play. The fact that this huge ship comes into view of the hijackers, it's quite a frightening situation for them.
Absolutely. Now, the problem of Somali pirates, Admiral, is not anything new. This is something that's been ongoing for at least the last couple of decades. With that being the case, when ships have to traverse through these, what can be described as unsafe waters, do they have any kind of a mechanism for self-defense? Because it's being said that it was just a team of about 5 odd hijackers who in fact boarded this ship, and they were said to be armed, who've now, in many ways hijacked this cargo ship. Do these cargo ships have any kind of mechanism on board the ship? Because these are pretty large cargo ships where they can defend themselves against these small ragtag pirate groups that in fact traverse these areas.
I don't think so. There were some countries, the Italians, for example, we had that incident of the Kerala coast. The Italians used to put their Marines on board, but it didn't really solve the problem, because what do you do if the personnel on the hijacked ship start firing? Then everything can break loose, and mayhem can break loose. And I think it is better to be in close proximity, to negotiate and see what the outcome of that negotiation is.
Right, Admiral Chopra, thank you very much indeed for joining us and giving us that perspective there.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.